Next, on this special edition of Emergency Vets,
It's cold.
a young veterinarian's trial by fire.
It's gonna be pretty intense.
36 hours on the overnight shift. Transform a new graduate into a pro.
Dr. Sokup, you have a patient in room 2.
Tell me again what the owner just said.
Jason Sokup battles crashing patients.
Get Dr. Sokup now.
I'm most concerned as a nurse.
Life or death decisions,
We'll do everything we can.
and sleep deprivation.
I'm starting to get a little tired.
Join a young doctor as he endures the most exhausting shift in emergency vet medicine. After Hours.
Guess dinner will have to wait.
A veterinarian expects emergencies every day.
To do this, you kind of have to be an adrenaline junkie.
Stable patients suddenly go south.
Her adrenaline is going so high.
Doctors race to solve medical mysteries before they kill.
There's always challenges.
They set fractured bones and sometimes fractured families. The doctors at Alameda East Veterinary Hospital see it all. Just hopefully not all at once. That's the hope of Dr. Intern Jason Sokup. He graduated from Texas A&M University just 2 months ago. And in a few hours, he'll be responsible for every patient that walks through the door.
You are officially a doctor and completely on your own.
They're the captain of the ship. They get to drive the Titanic, you know? We just got to make sure we don't hit any iceberg.
Okay.
What can I do? Tell him about.
Beginning at 5 p.m. and going through the wee hours of the night, the 17-plus after-hours shift is a rigorous test of tenacity and know-how, all without the benefit of a vet school safety net.
Okay.
It's a rite of passage that we all go through.
Great. The actual idea that I am in charge and I am responsible is a frightening thought. I'm going to get Dixie here into ICU on fluids, and then I'm going to see ferrets owners. I can handle any serious case if it's just one at a time. But having 5 intense trauma cases at the same time, that's gonna be scary.
Did somebody call the doctor in here?
No matter what the next 17 hours bring for Dr. Sokup,
July 1st, first night on.
it's 5 o'clock, and Jason's first overnight starts now, ready or not.
I don't know, I think a dog got a hold of her or something.
In the lobby, an injured cat strikes and bites. Owner Kelly Walters was awakened by her cat's screams. Dr. Sokup has no idea what's wrong with Lady Savannah, but her hissing lets him know he's close to finding the source of her pain.
There's a pretty large laceration here that goes pretty deep down towards the colon. And I think it has some sort of a pelvic fracture or possibly femur fracture.
Feeling for fractures brings another warning from the Manx mix.
Okay.
The young doctor backs off to give the 7-year-old some breathing room.
I can't do anything until this cat is stable and getting oxygen and breathing okay on its own. So I'm going to take some x-rays of the pelvis and see if we can figure out what kind of injury is going on back there.
Biting is not typical behavior for Lady Savannah.
She's just a love.
But Kelly isn't surprised by her cat's momentary lapse of character.
I was calling for her all morning, and I finally heard her meowing outside the bedroom window. And when I looked out the window, I saw blood around her bottom.
I can't tell for sure. It looks sort of like a possible hit by cartomy because there's a abrasion on the ear that doesn't look like a typical dog bite.
X-rays can show the extent of Lady Savannah's injuries. But X-rays will have to wait until this lady has an attitude adjustment. Juggling multiple cases is an art most interns struggle to master.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sokup.
Luckily, daytime hours are swimming with support.
There are babies, and we don't leave anybody on the beach, you know?
But evenings are an entirely different story.
There's usually 3 doctors here until 8 p.m.
Hey!
And from midnight on until the next morning, I'm here by myself and take care of anything that comes through the door. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Gardner.
That feeling of strandedness has been, I think, verbalized by every intern who's ever gone through the program here.
I'll be right back.
He's gonna go write some stuff down.
It's 7 p.m. and Jason has 3 rooms waiting.
Dr. Sokup, you have a patient in room 2.
Thankfully, he is hours from going solo.
I'm sure at some point I will have a confident attitude about my ability to handle things, and the more cases we see, the better we're going to be, you know?
If sheer number of patients builds expertise,
Dr. Sokup will be in with you in just a moment, okay?
Jason will be a specialist in no time. After being sequestered in oxygen since biting a staffer,
I know.
Lady Savannah is ready for radiology.
Yes, you are.
It remains unclear whether the Manx mix was hit by a car or attacked by a dog.
Oh, such a good girl.
But she is unable to support her back end, and Dr. Sokup fears multiple injuries.
That's why she hurts.
Yeah. As you can see, there's a pubic symphyseal fracture right here, also here. So this entire side of the pelvis is just fractured and luxated.
Lady Savannah has 3 fractures in her pelvis,
Concerned about that.
but her doctor is more troubled by the condition of her colon and urethra.
The concern with pelvic fractures is they could potentially rupture their urethra and cause urine to leak out into the abdomen.
If Lady Savannah's wound has pierced her urethra, her condition is critical.
I do need to look at that wound a little better.
A closer look at the laceration will hopefully show Jason Lady Savannah's chance of recovery.
You're a good girl. I know. You have to be brave.
There's a pretty large laceration here that goes pretty deep down towards the colon. I can't see any obvious indication of it.
A good look proves useless to the new doctor.
There's quite a bit of tissue damage, and I'm not really sure how to address it.
Traumatized anatomy looks a lot different than pictures in a textbook. Jason knows the stakes are too high to risk any mistakes.
I can't make certain that this laceration or possibly puncture wound doesn't go down deep into the colon. My biggest concern is trying to figure out if the anatomy is intact, and I wasn't real sure how to do that. I'm going to talk with the surgeon on call and try to come up with some ideas on how I can figure out whether that anatomy is intact. Hi, Dr. Rooney. I got a cat that was attacked by a dog today. There's quite a bit of tissue damage, and I'm not really sure how to address it. I know you've got better things to do, but it might be something worth looking at for me, for my sake. Okay, fantastic. All right, bye. I think on this one, I'd like to have him on in here. And next time I see something like this, I'll know what to do.
Dr. Sokup proves he's not afraid to ask for help, but will help arrive in time to save Lady Savannah. When we return, 4 ounces of intimidation.
I've never seen a day-old kitten.
Dr. Sokup?
And can a seizuring dog come back from a sky-high temperature?
I thought she was gonna die before you got her here.
Next on Animal Planet.